30 to 35 minutes of Roma, a spectacular Roma. Then Pavlovic's spark, 15, 18, 19, 17. You pick the minutes of Milan with 3, maybe 4 big chances to double the lead. Roma gets rattled because after half an hour of what I thought was spectacular play, they lose their bearings a bit. In the second half, they could have conceded several times. They regain their composure, meaning they get back control and manage to attack with a certain order. Gasperini's substitutions, by the way, I'll say it again, the issue with the striker becomes very clear in the first half hour when with a real center forward, Roma could have taken the lead. But obviously, if you give them an incomplete transfer market, it's only natural to think that you might end up paying for the penalty foul, Dybala's serious mistake, and that feline leap. Maigna's incredible save, Dybala's injury, and Milan taking 3 hugely important points in a match that was a real spectacle. Beautiful because it gave us very few, almost no moments to catch our breath. And the standings are just the way Italian fans like them. For the average fan, for those who want to have fun, for those who want to see 3 or 4 teams in the running until the very end, I don't know if it will stay like this until the end, but right now there's a great balance. The much maligned point Napoli earned against Como now puts Napoli at the top. They're alone at the top for whatever that's worth in early November with 3 teams chasing them. Inter, who won with difficulty in Verona, Milan, of course, and Roma, who are stuck at 21 points, now caught up by the 2 Milan teams. It's going to be entertaining because this is a league where, with the mixed bag of European competitions, which Milan doesn't have, and injuries that have an impact, along with many other factors that will leave their mark, it's definitely a season that won't let us relax. The match was good, I repeat, and it highlighted the shortcomings of certain tactical setups. Milan also didn't have a striker. Today, in my opinion, Kunku played a good match. He's not a center forward, even though, as Tar said, he played 73% of his games as a center forward. For me, he's not a true center forward, but maybe I'm wrong. Still, he played a match full of sacrifice and flashes of brilliance, and he even hit the post. Instinctively, he put himself at the service of the team. He played for the team. It took a great burst from Leao to make the difference, because Pavlovic's goal is definitely 70 to 75. I'd say 80% thanks to Leao. Then the reaction to Leao's missed goals was Allegri's, what he said to the bench, but Leao is definitely a key factor. He made an impact on the match, but he should have been a bit more ruthless. When he had 2, maybe 3, actually more 3 than 2, chances to seal the 2-0 and avoid that tense ending. Now, rightly so, people are talking about Svilar, who is a sensational goalkeeper, because if Roma stayed in the game and managed to hold on until the end, it's thanks to him. And it's thanks to Svilar's saves. He made a couple of truly remarkable saves, an incredible goalkeeper. But on the other side, Maignan is just as good, to the point that I think that even if he's a goalkeeper whose contract is about to expire, you should do everything possible and more to secure his renewal, offering him whatever it takes. Because with all due respect to the other goalkeepers in Italy and across Europe, if Svilar is a key player, today he remains the most competitive goalkeeper in Serie A, in my opinion. And Maignan is not far behind, by a mile. I was talking about the situation with the forwards, when you don't have the option of a true striker and you have to play with Soulé, with Dybala, and then Dybala again, and then Soulé. Dybala also missed a chance in the first half that, in my opinion, the best version of Dybala would never miss. And you have to stick with Dobbik because Ferguson is injured, and you have to rethink things by bringing in Bailey and Pellegrini. You end up paying for these things a bit. But Roma's first half hour was like a postcard worthy of Gianpiero Gasperini. It was a clear postcard, a beautiful one. In color, a great landscape, a team that plays well. Roma can certainly have regrets about the result, but they don't leave San Siro diminished. They leave San Siro with this regret of not having a real striker, of not having a true forward. You might say that Milan doesn't have one either, and that's true, but Milan has Leao, and when he decides to make a difference, he does. Meanwhile, Roma has to find solutions along the way that lack consistency. But let's put this behind us. As a match, it definitely entertained us. It didn't bore us, and that's already something important. The day was marked by many different things, events and occurrences, and for sure, the result that really stands out, the one that truly captures attention, is Fiorentina's. Another defeat, another loss for the team, with only 4 points in the standings so far, just 4 points out of a possible 30, which is a very disappointing and concerning outcome for the club and its supporters. Just think, we're the Serie A league that by the 10th match day has seen 3 teams not win a single game so far. And I'm referring to Verona, the excellent Pisa, which in any case is a newly promoted team, and Fiorentina itself. If tomorrow Genoa doesn't win away at Sassuolo, that would make 4 teams after 10 match days, it seems to me. That's something for the Guinness World Records, a world record, because even by accident you should win at least 1 match. But Fiorentina is going through a real bloodbath, and as I'm recording this video, there's an ongoing call between the ownership and Pioli. It's not about deciding whether to continue, it's about deciding how to terminate the contract. It's impossible to make any technical assessments about how to move forward because the team is in disarray. The players and the coach are on completely different paths. The players bear huge responsibilities. The coach clearly is not resigning. Fiorentina's sporting director, Prade, submitted his resignation on Saturday, so they're looking for a trapdoor, a shortcut, a back road. To try to make clear exactly how much you should be getting, until June 2028, that's about 18 million gross just for you. Congratulations. Let's try to meet halfway. I'll give you a year and a half of your contract. You give up a year and a half. Keep in mind that Pioli had already voluntarily surrendered some money to leave. No one forces anyone to resign. Resigning is not a common practice. It's neither customary nor usual around here. It's something everyone refuses to do. They're glued to their seats. But if you show me anti-football, then you have something to give up, because that was anti-football. Now, Fiorentina's transfer market. You can judge it however you want, but it would be better to judge it when it's over, not now. Now it's too easy. But there's also the contribution of a coach who turned everything upside down, who shook everything up, who gutted everything, who didn't provide any clear idea. At a certain point, in my opinion, they left him behind because they no longer believed in his theories. When a coach is no longer credible, it's a bloodbath, because economically it's a bloodbath. It's a purple bloodbath, but still a bloodbath. To the point that now they really have to be careful, because all that matters is looking at the standings. That's it. You have to print it out and put it up. And put it up in big, bold letters. Fiorentina wants to end the current relationship first before thinking about a new candidate. Many names have been mentioned. Vanoli, who was linked to Genoa 2 days ago, De Rossi for Genoa, and the situation involving Genoa, which in the meantime has set up and organized an internal meeting for tomorrow. I'll keep you updated, but I'm really surprised by this bloodbath, because honestly, I feel really sorry for Comiso, because I know him well, because he hasn't held back his efforts. I'm talking from a financial point of view, because he opened up the vault, because he deserves more. Then, if you bring in players like Piccoli, Gecko, Nicolucci, Caviglia, Som, Gudum, they've been bought out and now they're all considered no good. I don't think this is Comiso's fault. And I think the team, it's not even the fans' fault, because at a certain point someone said it was the fans' fault if the team wasn't performing because of too much pressure. Just think about it. There's a coach who gets 4 points out of 30 in 10 matches, and it's supposedly the fans' pressure that's to blame. At a certain point, the fans acting civilly, because I understand any kind of attitude or reaction as long as it's civil, realized that things just weren't working anymore. Maybe they didn't sense it. Pioli, let's see how this call will end. In any case, whatever happens, it's already a bloodbath, period. Still, when a coach gets 3 points, 2 points, 4 points in 6 matches, and then 4 in 10, after 4 defeats or 3 defeats, they'll let him go. The contract made the difference, but it's one of the most unsettling chapters, considering the money spent and the bloodbath. Compared to the return that never came, I'll keep you updated, but for sure. Tonight, above all, we focused on the football played. I wish you a good evening, and we'll see each other soon. Bye, friends.